Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about any horror movie that I have watched in my life. And yeah, I don't really know. We'll find out what I'm going to do with it. So before I start the video, I'd just like to say when this video is coming out. It is my birthday. So if you guys could, down in the comments, say something about my, like, happy birthday or something. I know it's a little ridiculous for me to do that, but it would be really nice of you guys to. Now before we actually start this, I'm gonna let my dog out. Alright. So, let's start this off with the actual first one that I've ever watched. By memory, it is the 1990 It miniseries. I got some stuff to say about this, and it might lead into other stuff. So this is probably going to be the most important one as well. When I was 7 years old, I watched it in 1990. And I had nightmares about it for almost a full entire year. And for a few months, I hated going to the restroom at all, or just taking a shower. I absolutely hated it. It was terrifying because I always thought that something was going to come out of the out of like a drain or something. So yeah, it wasn't fun. It's not a great movie. I'm gonna call it a movie for now. It wasn't that great, like, now that I look back on it, but it terrified me as a kid. Probably the most important one I've ever had. But yeah, so the next horror movie that I ever watched was Cabin in the Woods. I don't really know what year this came out. I know it was past 2012. Because right after watching that, I watched Avengers. So I don't exactly know when it came out, but it was, honestly, it might be my favorite horror movie that I've ever watched, because that thing, I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a pretty good one. I still do. I haven't watched it since, but I still think it was a great movie. Definitely probably top 10 horror movies I've ever watched. It might not be number one. Just off the bat in my head, I'm pretty sure it was my number one for at least a few years. I believe the movie I watched after that was Paranormal Activity. Most of the series, at least the first four. After they went on with those weird ass ones, I kind of lost interest. So yeah, I only watched like the first 3 or 4, but still great movies. They all are like the same theme though, so if you're fine with the first one, you should be fine with the others. No, I shouldn't say that. The first one was different because the first one's actually really good, and then the others are just kind of like a remake of that. So none of them are really that original besides the first one. So yeah, I want to say after that, I took a long break from watching horror movies, and then I went back a few years ago, and I started watching Nightmare on Elm Street. Watched the entire franchise. Still believe the only really good ones are the first one. I actually liked Dream Warriors. I don't know if that's like a common thing that people hate. I liked Dream Warriors. I didn't really like the remake because when I first started watching it, I was so confused, and I don't really like the look of him, so I didn't really watch it. I watched like the seriously first 2-3 minutes, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is boring. So I'd probably say my favorites are Dream Warriors and the first one. And then literally right after finishing that series, I started watching Friday the 13th. Once again, watched all of those. That was about this. When I finished watching, that was about Christmas time of 2017. My mom bought me the entire franchise, like one of those bundles. So I actually really enjoy that. I would like to say that's my favorite film franchise. That's not like the MCU, like horror franchise. Only because, I don't know, I kind of like how Jason is, like how he changes. I will admit, besides like I'd say the third one is probably like the third best. I'd say the first, like the best ones are the part 4 is number 1, and then like part 6 is number 2 because I enjoyed part 6 a lot. But part 4 is what everyone thinks of whenever they think Friday the 13th. The first one was okay. I like I kind of like the idea that it wasn't Jason in the beginning, because that's kind of cool. Like, everyone thinks Jason when they think that, but it wasn't really him the first time. I mean, that probably wasn't really intended, but I mean, that's cool for me. And then after I got done with that, I waited until like Halloween 2018 was released, and I waited a little bit after that before watching really any other horror movies. And then in that time, I watched it, and I really got into that, like the 2017. I really got into that. And then when Halloween came out, I really got into the Halloween franchise. So I recorded every single movie except for, of course, the remake, and really only watched the first 2. I watched some of the third one, but I thought the third one was trash, and I heard that really the Halloween franchise just gets worse and worse over time. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm really not going to enjoy this third one, I'm just not going to watch anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't really watched a lot of Halloween, but other than that, I've watched quite a few horror movies. And then, after that, I took a break, and I started watching MCU stuff for Endgame and Infinity War. And then, I hopped back into horror. I started to watch the Scream franchise. I watched all but the second one. Third one wasn't good. And I heard the second one, I believe the second one is where Randy dies. And I actually really like Randy. And I also heard that the whole blah 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 is the killer was actually really terrible. So I was like, well, I didn't like the third ones either, so, I mean, I'm fine. But the fourth one, I'd say the fourth one's probably the second best, and I've heard that the second one is the third best, and the third one's just shit. So, I mean, I'm fine without watching the second one. I still believe that the fourth one is probably still the second best, even though, I mean, I'm pretty sure I just said that people have said that one's the second best, so there's some things where I would probably have changed it, but it's good for what it is and not being the original. And having like a new outlook on the series instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. Kind of sad that there won't be another one, because that that might be my second favorite horror franchise, only because it's kind of funny and it's more based on reality than most. I started to watch Insidious only because I want to kind of start watching a little bit more of the ghost stuff. Oh, yes, I did forget. I've watched Conjuring. Believe I've watched the first Annabelle. I'm almost 100% sure I have. There was another one from that franchise that I've seen, like the Conjuring universe. Can't remember which one it was, though. I thought it was okay. Crap, give me a second. What was it? It wasn't shit. I know. Maybe I only have watched Conjuring. Yeah, no, I've just heard a whole bunch of stuff about the other ones. Okay, yeah. I haven't watched Annabelle, but I looked into it for a while. And I, basically learned what happens in the movie and that shit. Fuck. I know I've watched other horror movies. I've watched a bunch. I guess it depends on what you call, a horror movie. Oh, I have watched Split. I don't know if people call that a horror movie or a thriller, because I know there's a difference. I'm gonna call it a horror movie, though. I have watched Split, and I've basically learned everything about Unbreakable and Glass. I heard Glass wasn't that great. Unbreakable is actually really good. I don't know. I'm fine with only watching Split. Split was pretty good. I really didn't care about the main girls. I don't know if that was just me. I didn't really care about them. I did find the whole mixed personality scenes pretty interesting, and I also heard that that was based off a real person, and like there's a real disease, like medical condition, not disease, for that. I find that interesting, and I kind of did get freaked out when the Beast, I'm pretty sure that's what they all call him, ate those two other side chicks. I actually find that really terrifying. I don't know why. I don't like cannibal stuff. Oh, speaking of cannibals, I've watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, and then the I believe it's technically considered a remake. I've watched that as well. I like the 3D more. I think I'm fine without watching the first one though. I've seen things for the first one, and I know it's pretty iconic and like there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but I'm fine without actually watching it. I'm not into the Texas Chainsaw thing, but once again, I don't really get into cannibal stuff. Speaking of cannibal stuff, I don't remember what it's called. There's a horror movie that is based off like people getting stranded on an island with a whole bunch of cannibals. I have seen many bits from that. I haven't seen the beginning and stuff, but saw many bits from that, and I am fine without watching it. I find cannibals actually pretty creepy. Not intriguing though. I find it creepy because it's real. It's a real thing, but I wouldn't watch it because it's creepy. I would only watch it because it's iconic, like Texas Chainsaw, like the originals, because I've heard there's a lot of cannibalism in those. I don't know, man. I've watched a lot of horror movies, and some of them just didn't impress me enough to actually stay in my mind. So kind of lost interest in most of them. I'm almost 100% sure I've watched Carrie. I didn't really get impressed with that one, although I'll admit it's not bad. Almost 100% sure that I've watched Pet Sematary. It's alright. That one like Zelda girl's kind of weird. I'm not saying Zelda like Legend of Zelda. I'm pretty sure that's one of the girls' names. Like the wife's sister's name had like that one disease where it like makes her all like deformed and shit. Yeah, that was creepy. Heard the new one was shit. I'm talking about the original. Yeah, no, because isn't that the one where the little kid gets hit by a truck when he's trying to get the kite? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen it. That was alright. Not a big fan of it. It was pretty cool, though. I've wanted to watch Children of the Corn, haven't watched it, though. It was either that or Paranormal Activity, and then I asked to watch Children of the Corn, and my mom said no. So, that was back when it was on Netflix, because I don't think it is anymore. There's a few shit horror movies on Netflix, and I have watched quite a few no-name ones that are from Netflix, and God, dude, Netflix makes terrible horror fucking shit. Like, they have, like, Stranger Things, and that's about it. I don't really consider Stranger Things horror, though. I've heard it's basically just a teen comedy with Demogorgons. Or, like, a teen drama. It's not really, like, an actual horror movie. I haven't watched Stranger Things. Don't expect me to say something about it. Never really been intrigued by it. If I really do care about it, I'll start looking it up, and I'll basically learn everything. I know something about how, like, everyone leaves, and everyone's like, oh no, what's the series gonna do now, because everyone's gone. I have literally no idea what they mean, though. And I don't play Fortnite anymore, and I haven't played Fortnite for a while, so I literally don't know about that whole crossover that I'm pretty sure they had. Not surprising, because it's fucking Fortnite, and, like, every company's like, they make $1 million a year? No, I don't know. Fortnite shit. That's my input for Fortnite for now. You probably heard me say multiple times in past videos that I hate Fortnite. But yeah, that's basically all the horror movies I've watched throughout my life that are actually big names and somewhat matter. So, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment down below, and once again, like I said, it's my birthday when this is being released, just so if you guys could say something positive down in the comments, even if it's not about me, say something positive. maybe about yourself, about someone else that you know. I mean, I know it's not gonna happen, but still, it'd be nice. So have a good day. Don't know what else to say. See ya.